Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about getting rich mining, or at least we're going to continue our series. As you know, I believe in the technology of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I believe in the future of where it's going, and we are just getting started in its infancy. Be thankful that you're a part of this now, that you're learning about this now. I believe that in the long run, this technology is going to literally rule the world. At least blockchain technology is going to be used in so many aspects of our life. It will be bigger than what the internet revolution has been. And the very pinnacle, the very start of it all is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the first cryptocurrency that started it. It's the first currency that had a blockchain, and the technology, the Bitcoin itself as a currency, it potentially all could take us to places that we could only dream of. And it's so exciting to be a part of this right now. Now, don't take anything that I say on this channel as investing advice. Do your own research. I am not a financial advisor. I am an investor, speculator in this technology. And who knows? If I am wrong, all this could go to zero and we could lose whatever we have invested in this space. So you should never invest more than you're willing to lose. In my last video, I mentioned this actual video, and I put the link down in the description, and I can do that again. This is a great explanation of exactly what Bitcoin mining is. Today I want to talk about the two different types of mining, and that's basically do-it-yourself mining or cloud mining. What are they and what is the difference? So first of all, I want to talk about the pros and cons of each, but do-it-yourself mining is where you actually own a mining rig that looks like this, mind you. This is a mining rig. This is kind of the latest and greatest what people are using right now to mine Bitcoin. It basically is used to people use their computers, but today your computer is not fast enough or strong enough. And this is a very efficient, kind of like a computer that solves mining algorithms or does actual mining. Again, if that doesn't make sense to you, go back and watch this video on what is Bitcoin mining. So this solves the algorithms. This gets the block rewards. This is an actual miner that you could set up at home. Now, a lot of people like the idea of doing that. The other is you actually lease. So you go to a company that has a whole bunch of these ant miners, and you basically lease the hashing power. So this is 14 terahash. There are companies that will allow you to actually lease the terahash from them. For example, one of the best, or at least has the best reputation, one that I use is Genesis Mining. By the way, I had this picture pulled up. If you notice, these are all those ant miners on shelves. This is what's called a mining farm. So when you purchase hashing power from Genesis Mining, you're basically purchasing a hashing power contract for a set amount of time. With Genesis, they're open-ended right now, which means that you own that hashing power for as long as it is profitable. We can in another video, the next video, we'll discuss profitability, how to determine profitability, and what makes your hashing power or what makes your mining profitable. But this is the difference in cloud mining. Cloud mining, you don't own it. Someone else owns the hardware. You're just basically renting it or leasing it. When you own the hardware, you have this at your house or some other place. You have it set up. That's do-it-yourself mining. So a little bit of pros and cons. First of all, here's one of the pros right off the bat. When you own the equipment, in the future, these have very powerful graphics cards in them. So in the future, if you want to stop mining, you do have hardware that does have a value. You can resell it. So you're not going to be out zero. The other thing is you can easily start and stop. So let's just say for some reason Bitcoin mining, is not profitable, and that occurs. There's times in Bitcoin's history that it has not been profitable to mine. In fact, there's been times that people have been mining it at a loss. You would only do that, by the way, with your own mining rig. With Genesis Mining, basically your contract would be worthless if you were trying to mine it at a loss. And you don't actually own any hardware. So that's one of the pros. You actually own the hardware. And it kind of limits your risk in that way, I guess you could say. The other thing is that you're part of it's a little more decentralized. You have more control over what you're mining. You can start and stop it at will very easily. So, I mean, that's really the pros. Now, in my opinion, that's about where the pros ends. Some of the downside to owning your own rig is it's extremely technical to be able to set up, manage, and run your own rig. They break, they got to be fixed, they got to be repaired. That you got to know how to do it. You have to have a sizable amount of technical experience to be able to do it. The other thing is they're quite loud, very loud in fact, and it's just not reasonable for most people to have these at home. And if they have them, it's not reasonable to have too many because they get exponentially louder the more you have. They're loud, they're noisy. It's also they also produce a lot of heat. They say with 2 or 3 in a room, you could definitely tell the temperature change in the room. They get quite hot. Arguably, there is some risk in that. Um, the other thing is, it's not your electricity cost in your local area may prohibit you from being able to mine cost effectively. If you live in an area that has very high electrical cost, it may it's going to eat into your ultimate profits. A lot of people don't think about that when they first get started, but you have to consider your electricity cost. Now, mining farms like this is in Iceland. Why? Because Iceland has very, very, very cheap electricity. So that's typical for mining farms. They're usually set up in cooler areas that have cheap electricity. Um, let's talk about cloud mining for a moment. Cloud mining. Some of the pros to cloud mining is it is super easy to start. Literally, you can buy hashing power with a credit card and be up and going in no time. They'll also take, Genesis will also take Bitcoin payments, Litecoin payments, Monero payments, a lot of different cryptocurrency payments. But it's easy enough for for an average person to get started. My very first contract, I put it on a credit card or debit card actually. Super easy to start. It's non-technical. Literally, it's a matter of it takes almost nothing to set it up. If you have to know how to send and receive Bitcoin and Bitcoin payments, if you know how to do that, you can set up an account with Genesis, for example. Super easy to scale. So, for example, here, if you own these, there's only so many of these you're going to like put at your house. So at some point, it gets difficult to scale. But with Genesis, I mean, you can buy hundreds and hundreds of hash power. The only thing you're really limited by is A, the availability, but B, just however much you want to invest is really availability and however much you want to invest. Currently, Genesis is sold out. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell notification icon, I will make a video as soon as they are available. Whenever they have mining power available, it typically sells out very quickly. I was going to list that as one of the cons, but the reality is these miners are oftentimes unavailable or very, very expensive as well. So Bitcoin mining is in high demand right now. They literally have trouble making enough hardware to keep up with the demand. So that really is a con on availability, and both is really one of the downsides to mining in general right now. But it is much easier to scale. I mean, it's just a matter of putting in more money, basically buying more hashing power. Now, here's a very big con of cloud mining. Historically, most mining operations literally have been Ponzi schemes because you're putting money in and you're getting small payouts out. And I'm going to show you in my next video how to determine the profitability, whether you're using hardware mining, do-it-yourself mining, or cloud mining. But historically, a lot of these mining operations have been Ponzi schemes, and I wouldn't doubt if some of the ones that are out there today still are. It's because you put money in and you get these small payouts out. So it definitely lends itself, the way payouts work, it lends itself to the potential to be a Ponzi scheme. Now, with that being said, one of the reasons I like Genesis is they've been in business for a long time. They're known to be more reputable. There's another company or two out there I would recommend probably in my next channel. In my next video, I'll talk about another company, an alternative to Genesis. But Genesis, the CEO, has been out and about. I mean, he's done TED Talks about Bitcoins and even Bitcoin mining. There are videos out there. I can show you videos of people who have actually visited the mining farms. So, Genesis has ran into issues as far as website upgrades. They've been under attacks before. They have good, decent communication on their Twitter account. It can take them a while to go through, and people talk about, hey, I had a missing payment. It can take them some time to go through everything to trace down missing payments, but to my knowledge, they've always traced down every single missing payment that's ever occurred. So that's very good. And they've been around, I guess, I think they're going on 2 years now. So they've been around for quite a while. They've been able to, the Bitcoin's going crazy, the demand's went through the roof, and they've managed to do pretty well and to keep up with the demand for the most part, as far as their customer service and whatnot. So they have a great reputation. The CEO is easily, he's out there. He's on Twitter. They have a Twitter account for Genesis Mining. They do respond to tweets. They have customer support. Customer support will take a while to get back to you, but they do get back to you. I've reached out to them myself. They've been great. So I have no concerns about, personally, I have no concerns about Genesis being a Ponzi scheme. And there's another one out there that I've not personally used, but I hear good things about, and I'll talk about that in my next video when I talk about how to determine the profitability of mining, cloud mining, and using your own mining rig. So with that being said, that's kind of the differences, the pros and cons of do-it-yourself. A lot of people used to say, it's so much more profitable to do it yourself. That's not been the case recently. Even if it was more profitable by a little bit, which it's not right now, but if it was more profitable, it's still very difficult to scale. You still got to have the technical expertise. You still got to have low cost energy in your area. There are a lot of things to consider if you try to go at it yourself. But there are people who love to do it. There are people who they really love the technical game. They love to be in control of their own mining hardware. And if that's you and you want to go down that route, then I encourage you to do your own research and head in that direction. For most people, cloud mining is going to be the way to go, especially when it comes from a standpoint of gaining wealth, getting passive Bitcoin literally daily, sent straight to your wallet, your Bitcoin wallet. Cloud mining, Genesis mining is phenomenal. Again, they're sold out right now, but they should be. I'm expecting contracts to become available probably by February. And I'm personally just holding on to Bitcoin right now, just waiting to buy more contracts as soon as they come available, because it's been extremely profitable for me so far. Thank you so much for watching my video. Stay tuned for my next video where we're going to discuss how to determine the profitability, how to scale up your profitability. I'm going to share some things with you that I've never heard most people share, that I've kind of learned on my own from this whole journey. So stay tuned for that. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.